I don't want to see a pen or paper. Bring out your brushes. Let me see those palettes. Class is in session. Hi babe. So everyone has been asking for a makeup tutorial for almost every makeup look I do. And for many logistical reasons, that really just hasn't happened, but it's happening today. Today, we're going to be doing a soft glam. That's one of my favorite makeup looks, so it only made sense that the first tutorial I do would be a soft glam. So yeah, class is in session. Let's go. The very first thing I do when I'm doing my makeup is prime my face, and that usually looks like doing my everyday skincare and going in with a primer. I've already done my everyday skincare, but I like to go over it with the all-in-one Snail cream by Cosrx. I just like the way it makes my makeup feel, especially in combination with my primer. When it feels like the cream is doing what it's supposed to do, I go in with my primer. All the products I use will be linked in the description below. The primer I use depends on the weather. If I'm in a place that's hot, I'm going to go for a more mattifying primer. I give the primer some time to just sit pretty on my face, and while I do that, I start going in with my brows. Something that is important to know or do when you're doing your brows: when you take it up, be sure to also take it down. The whole point of doing that is so the glue can get into every single square inch of your hair. Then I would usually take something smooth. I'm going to be using this for right now and just go over the brow to press it down a little, just like that. Then we're going to repeat the same on the other brow. My eyebrows are actually due for a shape up. I usually hate to do my makeup when I haven't shaped my brows because it's so helpful, but we're going to do it anyway. Another important tip is when you're going in with the brow, don't brush it upwards. You can brush the tip a bit upwards, but the rest should be sleeked a little to the side, just a little to the side. When everything is dry, take my brush and I just brush everything down like that. It is at this point I would usually fill in anything I want to fill in, but a disclaimer is I usually like my brows looking as natural as possible. I don't like them looking drawn, but I like them to pop. So I'm just going to accentuate them and not really like do a whole other set of brows, especially when I'm doing a soft glam. This is my favorite brow pencil. I'm only going to use light strokes to fill in the parts that I think I want to fill in. And that's usually towards the end and not really the front. I might do a little something in the front just to give it a natural look, but nothing serious. It's also important that your strokes are upwards. Like you start from the bottom of your brow and then go up and still try and maintain the slant. For the parts in front that are upwards, go bottom up. From the parts on the middle to the end of your eyebrow that were slanted, make sure it's upwards but in a slanted motion. I like to take a clean spoolie and just go over everything again, just so that it can look as light and natural as possible. So now our brows are done. Remember that these are how I like them. You can do them how you like them. Another disclaimer is, guys, I can't see without my glasses, so every time I do my makeup, it's always a struggle. It's always a fingers crossed moment. I don't always do this stage, but I think I want to do this stage because I've been lacking sleep. I usually go in with a color corrector when I feel like my dark circles are winning. So I'm going to just go in with a little color corrector, just a very little, under my eyes, maybe just a little here as well, just because I feel like I have discoloration there. At this stage, I'm going to introduce one of my secret hacks. I don't know if it's a secret hack. This is one thing that I do that always makes my makeup bang. This setting spray is by Zaron. However, I don't use it as a setting spray. I find that it doesn't even set anything. But what I do call it is a makeup melter. If your makeup isn't looking like you want it to look, but then you spray some of this, it just sits pretty, like it melts into your skin and looks like that's all you. So I like this a lot. Oof. Now I'm going to take my concealer brush. As you can see, this brush has been through a lot because this is my best and favorite brush ever. I'm going to take my concealer brush and just gently go over the places that I put the color corrector. While I'm doing this, any other place I feel like I want to correct, I can take the excess on the brush and go over that, as opposed to putting more products and just making my face so cakey. Don't be scared if you look a little red. It's fine. That's the point. The color is going to make sense eventually. Now it's time for foundation. So I'm going to take my foundation brush and the magic melter. I spray everything with this, guys. This is my secret, I feel. I'm putting you guys on now. So yeah, I spray this and then I go over it with my hand just so that it's not wet. If you notice, it's wet. It's supposed to be damp, not wet. I just put a little all over my face. I would rather put a little, I need to put a little more than to put a lot and be looking for where to keep it. And a little goes a long way with this foundation. When you're doing your foundation, it's important not to go over your eyes. Anywhere that you know you're going to be putting concealer, try to avoid those areas totally, once again, so your makeup doesn't look cakey. If you're wondering about the eyebrows, it's important to say that I usually do not go over my eyebrows with concealer. My eyebrows are usually shaped. I normally just accentuate them and keep it pushing with everything else I'm doing. They're not shaped now, so we're going to go over it with concealer when we're doing our concealer placements. We're not going to put foundation on our foreheads just yet. But do you see this coverage, you guys? This foundation, I usually go in with a very, very, very a very tiny amount. You guys, I need to say this, a very tiny amount. I usually start by putting it on my eyelids, just so that whatever is left, I can blend it out on my eyelids. And then I take what is left after putting it on my eyelids under my brows. That's just how little I want you to take. Everybody says go over the top of your brows with foundation so it looks more natural, but I usually go over the top of my brows with the remnants of the concealer on my brush and still go over that with foundation to give it a little extra oomph, because I want my brows to look like my brows but with an extra oomph. So the concealer highlights it, then the foundation tones it down a bit. Then I'm going to take my trusty concealer brush without using setting spray just yet, and I'm going to blend everything out. Okay, so now we're left with highlighted brows. And remember that we had already done our foundation. We're going to now take our foundation brush and go over the brows. You can actually put the brush on the brows a little, but be careful not to disrupt the definition that we've already created. Now we have our brows and our foundation is perfect. The next thing we're going to go in with is concealer. I have a shade that is exactly my shade and a shade that's a few shades lighter. I'm going to take the shade that is exactly my shade and focus it on the outer area of my eye, and then the one that is a bit brighter than my shade on the inner corners of my eye. Also remember not to put the foundation directly under your eye. Give a little room. This will reduce creasing. The one that's my skin tone is the same one I'm going to put on my chin and on the bridge of my nose, the top of my lip, and my forehead. Normally you would put a little over here, but I use the excess from everything I've done over here so we can use as little product as possible. Then I'm going to go in with the one that's a bit brighter, contour next. Wherever you decide you want to place your contour, I'm going to need you to take a couple steps up, because when you're blending it out, it will come down naturally. So if you put it at a particular place that you think it's perfect, it's going to go a little lower than that. When you find the perfect spot, just take it a bit higher so that it ends up being the perfect spot actually. Like here. So I'm just going to go over the crown of my head. It's important to know your face shape so you can contour in the way that suits your face shape. I'm going to go a bit on my eye. I'm also going to go under my chin. Okay, if we're being fair, this is actually bronzing, not necessarily contouring. Still keep up. Then I take the excess and then I just basically carve out my nose. So you should put a bit over here. Just creates that shadow and that warmth and that depth. Then I'm going to go in with our magic in a bottle. So when everything is set, the first thing that we're going to be blending out is the contour, and that's because we need space to put the liquid blush. I'm going to start out on my chin, then my forehead, then my cheekbone, and then lastly my nose. Blending is actually my favorite part of the makeup process. I love it. When you're blending the bronzer on your cheekbone, be sure to use upward strokes. This is going to lift your face. The next thing we're going to do is put our blush. So I'm going to put my blush right here and right here. And in general, you don't need a lot of blush when you're doing a soft glam, and that says a lot coming from me. You know I love blush. You know I love to put it on. What we're basically going to do is set our face again. The setting spray is a little wet. It's not damp. It's just like 2 stages above wet. We're going to blend the blush just so the face will now be damp by the time we're blending out the concealer. You're also going to do this in upward strokes. Okay, so if you've been following, you should have something a little like this, and then we go in to blend out the concealer. I usually start out with my chin, and then I go into under my eyes. It would be good if you start to blend from the corners first and then go in. So start from the outward area and go in. And at this stage, you start to take it up closer to your eye. Remember that we didn't put concealer directly under the eye, we put it here. So now we're going to start taking it up. Now you can start touching the concealer that's brighter and try to focus it mostly around the place you put it, but you could still take it just a little bit under the eye. You can then take the excess on the brush at this point and apply it a little under your cheekbone. So we're going to repeat this exact same thing on the other side. I'm just going to go over my face with pressed powder, and then I'm going to go right into my eye look. Because this is a soft glam, I'm thinking something bronzy. However, I want to throw in a little pink. Not too much pink, just something subtle, something soft. Eyeshadow is also not my strong suit, guys. Like, my makeup generally is me winging it, but then my eyeshadow specifically, like, that's in God's hands. These are the palettes I'm using today. I'm using the browns from here and the pinks from here. And I'm going to start with this brown. I'm going to go over my crease. So this is what she's looking like right now. I'm now going to drag the brown upwards. Then I'm going to take another brush and pack on a little pink, just a little pink. We're going to use this pink, this particular pink. Actually, I changed my mind. Let's use this darker pink. You're just basically going to pack it on, like instead of brushing, at this point you pat it in and place it exactly where you want it, and then use the tip of the brush to blend it into the crease. So this is what we have for here. We're going to recreate this over here now. I know you're waiting patiently for like the powdered contour and the blush, but hold on, we're still on the eyes. So I'm now going to line my eyes, and this is always difficult. So I use this one that's like a marker. Sometimes I use eyeshadow, but today I'm using this one that's like a marker. Okay, so I think I kind of have a hack for eyeliner, and that's basically drawing the line up and then connecting the last point of the line that you drew all the way back into the eye. That's how I've been doing it, and let's see if it works for you. There we go. Exactly. I'm also going to put it under my waterline and then do the same on this eye. The next thing that we're going to go in with is mascara, and usually people are scared when they do their mascara because like it could smudge and ruin everything, but I have a hack for that. I have a hack for almost anything because I can't see. I have to make hacks to fix my mistakes because I do be making mistakes. I'm going to put on my mascara like normal. If I make a mistake, I'll show you the hack. If I don't, another video I'll show you the hack. So thankfully or not, I made a mistake, but not that much, like not enough for me to do the hack. Like it's fine. Now it's time to go in with the rest of the powders. I'm going in with my powdered bronzer now, and this is so pigmented, like Fenty. Once again, upward motions, upward strokes. That's what we're doing. Upward motions, upward strokes. Think about it like this. You're always going to set the places that you put liquid products with powdered products. So put your pressed powder where you put your concealer, put your powdered contour or your powdered bronzer where you put your liquid contour or your liquid bronzer, put your powdered blush where you put your liquid blush. That's the arithmetic. I will use the big brush to get the inner corners of my eyebrows, if that's what that place is called. I really don't know. Then I'll use a more detailed brush to line my nose. The next powder thing we're going to go in with is blush. This is my favorite blush combo. Like I mix them both together and I just go lightly. Going lightly with blush is hard for me, but I'll try my best for you guys. Look, this is how we're going to do it. Just like this. When I'm done putting my blush, I just use the same brush with the same product, very little, and just go over my nose. Nothing special is going to happen, right? I just feel like it adds a little more. So do you remember that we have pressed powder on our face, powdered blush and powdered bronzer on our face right now? What we're going to use to clean away the excess powder is another powder. So I like to use this powder palette and I'm going to mix my shades. It's kind of like how when we did our liquids, we went over with the foundation brush to even everything out. We're going to do the exact same thing with powder. So I usually like to mix this one and this one. And I'm just going to go over my face. Do you see a difference? I don't know if you can tell, but there's a difference, guys. I go over everything with it, like my brows, my eyes. The brush touches everything. At this stage, I'm going to go in with my magic melter again. Oh, things are not dry yet. Everything is just damp. So me personally, this is what I do. You don't have to do it if you don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. When my skin is damp like this, I go in with, yes, blush again. So that's just me. I just go in with a little more blush. A little bit, just a little bit. God, I love blush so much. The reason why I put it when it's damp is just so it can stick. It's going to last the whole day if you do it like that. I'm going to set my face again. Okay guys, we're coming to an end pretty soon. The next thing is lips, and I love this brown. My everyday lip combo has shifted from brown to pink, but nothing is going to take the place of this brown liner in my life. Personally, I don't like my Cupid's bow, so I overline it right here, and then draw it back into my my regular lips. Then lip gloss. You can do whatever color you want, obviously, but since I have pink eyes, pink blush, I want to follow through with my lips and go in with something pinkish, nudish, you know. Also, this is the soft glam vibe, nudish, pinkish, so do pinkish, nudish. Are these words? I don't know, but you know what I mean. How do we feel about the combo? The last thing on the agenda, usually for me, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. Now, I have 3 birthmarks right here, like they're together, 1, 2, 3. But I don't put those just because it's weird if I do that with makeup. But I put my beauty mark up my upper lip back. I put one under my eyes back. I put one here back. And then if I decide to add more, I put it back. But those are my 3 staple birthmarks I put back. Something you might notice is that I don't use highlights. I used it earlier on in my makeup journey. I realized it's just not for me. I don't know, I have it. I might give it away soon, you guys, because I actually don't use highlights anymore. The last part of my makeup routine is definitely setting my face. So when I'm going out, depends on where I'm going. If I'm going to, let's say, dinner, I'll use the Charlotte Tilbury alone, or maybe pair it with the Seal Pro. If I'm going somewhere that's going to involve a lot of movement, or somewhere that I'm going to be outside, I will pair the Charlotte Tilbury with the one size, or I would pair the Charlotte Tilbury with this industrial makeup spray. Today we're not going anywhere, so I'm going to use only the Charlotte Tilbury. Oh. And that, my friends, is how you get a soft glam. This look is really good. I don't know, you guys. I don't know how many times I can tell you I can't see. I legitimately cannot see into the camera, but I have a feeling. Tell me in the comments, am I right? I feel like this makeup is like there's makeup on, but she's cute. She's cute. The makeup is cute. Let me know in the comments any questions you might have or anything in particular that you want to see. Don't forget to like and subscribe.